Brashear's Funeral Home and Crematory was founded in 1934 in Huntsville, Arkansas, by Bruce Brashears. His son Felix was a 1940 graduate of the Southern College of Morticians. The third generation is represented by Sumner Brashears, a graduate of the Dallas Institute of Mortuary Science and past president of both the Arkansas Funeral Directors Association and the National Funeral Directors Association. Construction was completed on the firm's present location in 1972. In 1983, Sumner married Jackie Easterling, herself a licensed funeral director. Her son, Stacy, a licensed funeral director and embalmer with a degree in business from Arkansas Tech University, became the fourth generation of leadership, along with his wife, Tracy, who also is a licensed funeral director. The firm is an NFDA Hall of Excellence recipient and is proud to offer services as unique as life. Paul L. Gravener Home for Funerals traces its roots back to 1871, when Moyer Hoover established a funeral home in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Levi Etnier purchased the business in 1903 and was joined by Harry Hoffman in 1918. Paul Gravener was employed as a funeral director beginning in 1953. In 1955, he purchased the firm, and it became Paul L. Gravener Home for Funerals. Neighboring property was purchased in 1974, allowing for renovation and expansion. Also in 1974, Paul's son-in-law, John Leonard, joined the funeral home. Paul and John worked side by side for more than 30 years, serving families of the Ephrata area. John became owner in 2009. His son Paul joined the firm in 2001 and became owner in 2021. For more than 150 years, Paul L. Gravener Home for Funerals has been celebrating lives and healing grieving hearts. Gunderson Funeral Home was founded in 1922 by Elmer and Inez Gunderson in Madison, Wisconsin, in the living room of a residence in the East Side Norwegian cultural area. In 1927, they built a dedicated funeral home facility. After Elmer's untimely death, Inez put herself through mortuary school, becoming one of Wisconsin's first female funeral directors. After serving in World War II, her son Bob returned to assist in running the business. His son Peter joined the firm in 1982 and added 6 locations during his tenure. His son Matt joined in 2014, and he recently added 2 more locations. Operating for more than 100 years, Gunderson's has 9 locations in the greater Madison area. It has achieved 22 consecutive Pursuit of Excellence awards and is consistently voted Best of Madison. Gunderson Funeral Home is dedicated to serving its community with grace and compassion. Hadley Funeral Home was established in 1966 when Bob and Gail Hadley moved to Windsor, Missouri to purchase an existing operation in an historic home. Their son Bruce grew up in the funeral home. Helping his parents led to his decision to pursue funeral service as a career. After graduating from the Dallas Institute of Mortuary Science in 1982, he returned to begin sharing management responsibilities with his parents. He and his wife Sheila, also a licensed funeral director, purchased the business in 1998. They raised their 3 children in the second-story residence just as the funeral families had before them. After Bruce's untimely death in 2004, Sheila continued running the business and serving the community. Their daughter, Lauren, joined the staff full-time in 2017, becoming the 3rd generation of the Hadley family to provide affordable care with excellence. Hamlet Dobson Funeral Homes has been a trusted family business since 1916, when James Hamlet Sr. came to Kingsport, Tennessee to manage the undertaking department at the town's largest department store at the time. In 1919, Lawrence "Jimmy" Dobson returned home from World War I and joined Hamlet. Together they purchased the undertaking department in 1926 and established Hamlet Dobson Funeral Home. Jimmy's son-in-law Harold Childress joined the family business in 1961. Bob Childress joined the firm in 1970 after returning from military service. Harold's son-in-law, Chad Carell, joined the staff in 1992. His son, Carson, is now a funeral director and embalmer. The firm has 2 funeral home locations, a memorial park, and crematory. Hamlet Dobson Funeral Homes is committed to helping families celebrate a life well lived. McCaw Funeral Service was founded in 1948 when Meredith "Mert" McCaw moved to Turtleford, Saskatchewan, to purchase an existing funeral home. Mert owned a bombardier that could carry a casket and 6 pallbearers to the cemetery through the snow. In 1958, he moved to Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, to establish a new funeral home, which was later sold to his brother Dave in 1964. Dave served on the NSM Board of Directors from 1984 to 1987. He owned and operated several planes through the years to assist with long-distance transfers across Canada. 3 of Dave's sons, Reg, Glenn, and Dale, have served in leadership roles at the firm. Dale also served on the Selected Resources Board. Sadly, he lost his life in 2009. But his sons Joel and Brett are the firm's current owners and carry on the family tradition of serving your family, caring for our community. Messenger Mortuaries, Cemeteries, Crematories was established in 1959 by Paul and Cora Messenger in the heart of Old Town Scottsdale, Arizona, on what was his family's dairy farm. They also founded Scottsdale's first ambulance service. Paul proudly served his community in numerous ways, including serving as city councilman and 3 terms as a member of the Arizona State House of Representatives. He served on the NSM Board of Directors from 1989 to 1992. Paul has a long history of involvement in numerous committees and commissions, and as a community historian, Paul is well known for his fascinating storytelling. He received the Lifetime Achievement Award and was inducted into Scottsdale's History Hall of Fame. Paul and Cora's granddaughter, Sabrina Messenger Acevedo, became CEO of the firm in 2019. With 4 mortuary locations, 2 cemeteries, 2 crematories, and a pet crematory, Messenger Mortuaries has a tradition of service since 1959 and knows that every life tells a story. Mueller's Funeral Home was founded in 1910 by Irvin and Annie Mueller in downtown Kennewick, Washington. Their eldest son, Eamon, worked with his parents until his mother's retirement in the 1960s. Mueller's Tri-Cities Funeral Home was built at Desert Lawn Memorial Park in 1979 to better serve the growing community. Eamon's children, Gail and Jay, returned to the family business after attending college and beginning their own families. They assumed control in the 1980s and purchased an additional funeral home in Pasco, Washington. In the early 1990s, the family took over management of Riverview Heights Cemetery in Kennewick. The 4th generation assumed leadership in 2012 when Gail's son, Chad Riddell, and Jay's daughter, Amy Kaufman, and her husband, Kent, became owners. They continue to honor the traditions of their pioneer family heritage while looking to the future. Neal Funeral Home began in 1929 as North Funeral Home in Etheridge, Tennessee. Ova North operated his funeral business out of his residence and used a horse-drawn hearse. In 1938, a new modern funeral home was built in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. After suffering health problems in 1953, North asked Oliver Neal to become a partner, and take over day-to-day operations. In 1984, Neil purchased the entire business, which was later passed on to his two sons, Charles and Don. Charles and his wife Vicki eventually took over the business. Their son David and son-in-law Darren McAfee later joined the firm. In 1998, a new state-of-the-art building was constructed, and the business was renamed Neil Funeral Home. It is the only locally owned and family-operated funeral home in Lawrenceburg. Its goal? To provide the best possible service at an affordable price. Leroy Rader Funeral Home was created when Leroy Rader bought out his partner and took full ownership of a funeral home in Kilgore, Texas. In 1953, he purchased a funeral home in Longview, Texas, and asked his son Charlie, who had just graduated from university, to manage the newly acquired firm. Leroy Rader served on the NSM Board of Control from 1962 to 1964. In 1971, a beautiful new facility was opened in Longview. And in 1981, Charlie Rader's son Charles returned to work after graduating from the Dallas Institute of Funeral Service. He now serves as president and owner. In 2006, Charles and his wife Lacey opened a new 10,000 square foot facility in Henderson, Texas. Their son Preston returned to work in 2011 after graduating from Texas Tech University. Leroy Rader Funeral Home, an East Texas tradition of quality and service for 70 years. Saddleback Chapel opened its doors in Tustin, California in 1963. The beauty of the Orange County region encouraged population growth, and soon a full-service funeral home was needed. Tustin is known as the City of Trees, and the past 50 years has brought significant changes to the area. But Saddleback Chapel has kept pace with these changes and remains family-owned, independent, and deeply committed to its tradition of service. Saddleback Chapel was designed to offer an atmosphere of beauty and serenity where families feel enveloped in love. That remains the primary concern of President Alan Bisbee and his staff. Their motto, families first, and that's exactly how they serve. Scobie Combs Bowden Funeral Home and Crematory was opened in Boynton Beach, Florida in 1956 by Samuel Scobie, with Don Combs as general manager. In 1959, they moved 11 blocks north to their present location. The funeral home also served for years as the community's only ambulance service. Combs soon became a partner, and as Scobie moved toward retirement, Combs became sole owner. He hired Michael Bowden as general manager in 1970. Bowden expanded the funeral home in 1971, more than doubling its size to better serve the community. A crematory was built on site in 1976. Bowden became a partner in 1977 and then president in 1991. Scobie Combs Bowden Funeral Home and Crematory is proud of its heritage of being family-owned and operated throughout its 67 years of serving the families of the greater Boynton Beach community with dignity and respect.